We give you Brian Head Welch.
What's up, y'all? Make some noise! It's not as impactful when you don't have the music going, huh? I'm tired today. I ain't got no sleep, but do I look tired? No? Probably the Maybelline. Sorry, I'm a rock and roller. I like to wear makeup. Hey, give it up for the band, man. That was cool. That guy could dance. Yeah. I got a joke and then I'll get started. But you probably heard it. Knock, knock. Nobody. Get it? Nobody's. I got off the Will Smith movie. You guys look good? You having fun? Stoked to be here. Me and my daughter are here. We got like 3 hours sleep. My band Love and Death had a show last night with Sleeping Giant, and it was awesome. Yeah, Sleeping Giant, guys like them? They bring it. They bring it, man. Yeah, it was so fun. It was in Lifelike Festival, so it was really cool. Yeah, my daughter's like 14, so she's living the road life right now. Next year it's gonna be crazier. She's gonna hit the road with me. It's a crazy life, you guys. It's like you think that it's all fun and games and stuff, but it's really like trippy. It's like when you do it, you're like, man, I want to be home because you're so gone all the time and everything. And you know, when I was like 10 years old, I got my first guitar and I was like, I want to be a rock star, you know. And I had Ozzy Osbourne posters on my wall, Motley Crue. Anybody know those bands? Remember them? But I'm going to see Motley Crue and Kiss next week. That dude twirls on the roller coaster in his drum set. I'm just going for that, I gotta see him. But it's rad. But yeah, I wanted to be a rock star so bad. I started learning how to play guitar. I know I see kids here. I'm sure you guys get picked on sometimes, or maybe you do the picking on. But I got picked on. I was just this little chubby dude, and my friends grew up like they went through puberty before me, so they would like beat me up and stuff and pink belly me, you know, where they smack your belly till it's pink. And it wasn't that fun, but whatever. I just went in my room and I was like, I just wanted to be a rock god, so I just practice, and then the bullies would come to my house and they'd be like, hey, play that Ozzy song, little punk. Like, they're even a little fan, you know what I mean? So I just got better and better, and I met the guys in Korn. I'd say I met Philly, the bass player, in 8th grade. I had long hair. Well, I had long hair in the back. You know. And what is it? Joe Dirt. Spilled. But and then Billy, the bass player for Korn, the hard dude with tattoos like that, he had Duran on his shoulder. I was like, dude, you gotta get into Ozzy, bro. I mean, come on, Duran. But I think he did it because the girls loved Duran, and he was like, hey, I like Duran, come here. Yeah. So like, I'll give it to him. But about 2 years after 8th grade, he went to a different high school. I saw him my sophomore year, and he had long hair. It just looked like a dirtbag. And I was like, yes! I converted one. You know? And so, about 15, we started hanging around again. You know? And he was playing guitar. His dad was like one of those just little, the small town, like, you know, this is a small town, right? Yeah. Is it small, but just this area is like, I was like, where are we going? You taking me out to kill me? Are you really a pastor? No, I didn't say that. No. But, yeah, we just, you know, his dad played in little bands in Bakersfield. Batesville, California, and so he was trying to teach his son to play guitar, and he taught him like Freebird and stuff like that, and I was like, and he just couldn't play that good, so I was like, dude, how about if you play the bass? There's 4 strings instead of 6. You could just, back then the rock songs were like, the bass would just go. So, I mean, anybody can do that. So, yeah, he switched to bass, and then he showed me, though, like, because I was getting all the attention with the leads, so a few years later, he ended up trying to learn how to slap like Flea from the Chili Peppers. And so, yeah, he skyrocketed, man. And he's a great bass player. But I met the other guitar player, Monkey. I sold him his first guitar. He cut off the tip of his finger in a lawn mowing accident, and the doctor said, find something to do with your finger to get it back into shape and everything. And so he started playing acoustic, and I converted another one. I went over to his house, and I was like, dude, you need an electric. He's like, yeah, I do, man. Where do I get one? I go, well, just so happens I'm selling one. And in my mind, I'm going, I bought my amp and my guitar for $200. I'll sell 2 staff for $300, and to get the Charvel that I want. And so that was my first investment. And I made money off his dad, which his dad gave me crap for later because the truth came out. But yeah, it was just us playing music. We loved it, and we were just all friends. We were into drugs or nothing. We drank a little bit, but we were up to no good, but not like just throwing our lives away with drugs or nothing yet. But yeah, we played a few shows and broke up, and then what happened was they started getting into the funk, like Chili Peppers music, and I'm telling you, I'm a die-hard metalhead. So I was like, dude, I don't do that. I don't do that funk stuff, man. I'm too white, I don't get the rhythm, and I love my metal. So they went to Hollywood, they tried to make it, and they still had a dark sound, like Faith No More, that was their favorite band too, so it was kind of like, had some good darkness too, but it was really funky. And that's where the funk of the Korn sound, like the groove from the Korn comes from, because they had worked that stuff out. But yeah, they tried to make it, and they got signed on this label called Triple X Records, and like it's just a little punk label, and they didn't like do nothing to break any bands or anything, so it just faded away. And I remember I was guitar teching for them. I was like helping with the cables and stuff and carrying the amps in. But they didn't pay me, so they gave me drink tickets. So like during the show, I'd go to the bar and drink. And if a chord came out, I'd be like, "It's by your right foot. Fix it." I don't care. They're really gonna fire me. We're best friends. They can't fire me. But I was just drinking and I started dibble-dabbling in drugs around then because one of my roommates was selling acid. And so we were tripping on acid, and like the first couple of times it was cool to the fact where like we weren't, I don't know, I would just trip. Like we lived at the beach, and we would just get on lifeguard stands, and I'd look, and all the footprints would be like, "Hey, Brian," and I was like, "Yeah." And like I did it again, and it was like less fun. It was like, I don't know, the first time did something to my brain. The second time I was like, yeah, it's all right. The third time I like did mushrooms, and I totally tripped out. We went to the mountains, and all these girls were with us, and it was just a bunch of friends, And we're just going, whoa, whoa, and all of a sudden this girl goes, "I'm having a bad trip," and then everybody just goes, "Ah, me too! Oh my God!" But it was like the worst night ever. It scared me away from that stuff, and I wasn't that type of dude, and so I was getting sick of being broke. I was sick of checking for my friends. I got them started in music practically, and I'm checking for them. Come on, I was like, I'm sick of this. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna work for Chevron. I'm gonna pump gas, and I'll learn how to manage a Chevron. Maybe open my own one day, and because my dad owned 2 Chevrons, so I was like, I'll just get into business. I could do music on the side. So I cut my hair. My dad was like, "Cut your hair if you want to come work." And I was like, all right. Chopped my hair off. I looked like Seinfeld. What's that dude on Seinfeld with the curly hair? Kramer. It was shaved on the side, like, it was stupid. But I don't know. So I cut it, and then they come to me after I cut my hair. My friends were like, "Hey, we're thinking of changing our sound to more like Alice in Chains type of stuff." And the new Ozzy song came out, "No More Tears." It was just like low and everything. And I was like, dude, I'd be down for that. When they told me, I was just lit up because I hadn't played with them for like 5 years. I haven't played with nobody. Maybe like a couple people here and there, but there's no clicking at all. And so when they asked me, I was just like, yes. And so I instantly came into the band and became a writer. They got rid of the funk right away. The Chili Pepper stuff. They still have the groove, but anyway, we started writing songs. We got a producer, Ross Robinson, who is world famous now. He produced Slipknot records. He did like all kinds of stuff. Yeah, we were his first project, and we hit it, and that's when we started messing around with drugs a little bit. You know, it's weird. We made it. You know, I made it. I smoked pot a couple times, and I did a couple other things all my life, and then when I hit 23, I started messing with drugs. I'm a grown man already, and I'm just like, but that's a rock and roll lifestyle when you're not in with the Lord. It's just like, it's party time. And so yeah, we started doing crystal meth and like writing songs, and some of them turned out good, but most of them were just like, we thought we were Mozart because you're on meth and you're like, yeah, this is a masterpiece, and then the next day you listen to it when the drugs were off, you're like, what key is that, an L? Like there's, you know what I mean? And so but it got a little scary because I'd stay up 3 days like on the weekends, and then on the weekdays I'd be like just working at Pizza Hut, delivering pizzas. If I hit a red light, like I would just like put a hole in my dashboard. It was like, because you come off speed and you're like, you just have all this rage. So I was battling with that, and when Korn got signed, we had these labels coming to get us, and I was like, you know what? Man, I ain't gonna waste my life like this. When we hit the road, record our album and everything, and it was just like surreal. We're on a label. I was working for pizza tips, delivering pizza tips, and I got like 40 grand in the bank, and I'm like, I hit the lottery. That's what it was. It was like they could have said, hey, we're gonna give you top ramen and beanie weenies, and you go play shows. We would have said, okay. But they gave us money too, so we were like, yeah. I saved all mine because I was poor before that, And those idiots went and bought like Mercedes, like old. One got like an old Beamer, one got an old Mercedes. Spent all their money, like for practically everything. And I was like, no way, I got a beat up Volkswagen Bug. You can see it on one of the Korn videos. It's like all beat up, man. And I was like, I got my money, but I got my ugly Bug too. But so we hit the road, and like 3 tours into our first record cycle touring, we're opening for Ozzy. That dude that's on my wall when I was a kid. And I'm just tripping, he's backstage just, doing his Ozzy thing, and I'm like, there he goes. That's not Ozzy. Look at it, it's Ozzy. And he mumbles, come. And his wife, she was so sweet then, and I remember she came up to us, she was like, you guys have got something, and you're going to go far in the music business. And we're like, wow. Coming from the lady that resurrected Ozzy's career when he left Black Sabbath, I mean, come on. So it was just surreal, you know what I mean? But we were having fun that first record. The second record came out, we started getting into more drugs, and we got a little darker with like touring with Marilyn Manson, and Danzig, and Megadeth, and it just, when you tour and you're hanging out with your friends and you drink beer every day, like that's gonna get old. Then you're gonna move to something else, and then so it's just like this. It was the same stuff, and it was just a downward spiral. And the third record came out though when we were like getting really bad kind of again. But the third record came out, and we wrote these songs, and it was just perfect timing. It hit MTV, and the record company pushed it, and it just exploded. But it was weird, like battling NSYNC on TRL, going Britney Spears, and like I'm going like 2 years ago I had this beat up Bug with dents in it. Now I'm like on TRL, like Carson Daly, it just didn't make sense. I'm like, how did I get here? But that's just, you never know what the world's gonna bring you, man. And so yeah, that was kind of fun, all that stuff, and then. It just, when we got that big on MTV every day, #1 albums, you can't get bigger than that. Just everybody's head just was like, we're different people. maybe we didn't go like, whoa, we're the best, nothing like that. But I'm saying, like, something happens to you when you get elevated like that, and you're not grounded and humble. You know what I mean? And you just you just can do anything. We had a license to do what we wanted. We had cops that would watch us and everything when we went out, and we'd go in the limo, and they knew we were doing drugs, and they'd sit outside and watch it. And so it was like we'd go into arenas, we could do anything we want in there practically. And it was really dangerous, you know, and it's just, the stuff you hear about rock stars are true to the fact, but it's not all, I mean, everybody was miserable. And we wore the mask like we were having fun, but everybody was sick every day from drugs and all that stuff, and everybody was having problems at home because we were gone all the time. There's cheating going on, you know, some people more than others, but it was just not good. And but we were on top of the world, right? So it was crazy, but I ended up marrying my wife around there. That's when we had our daughter, Janaea. She didn't have blue hair when she came out, but she does now. But yeah, things were good, man. I actually, when she was born, I got sober for like 4 months. And I was planning on being, when she came, it was just a miracle. I was like, oh my gosh, this is just the most beautiful thing. It was like, this tummy was big, and all of a sudden, the baby's here, and she was just perfect, you know. And so I was like, I'm going to be a good dad, I'm going to get sober. I quit drinking, I started eating vegetables, going to the gym. My body was like, what's all this? You know, I probably shocked it. I probably should have went slow with the good things, but yeah, it lasted 4 months, and I hit the road and went on tour with, or we had a few shows with Rage Against the Machine, and that was my favorite band, like back then, man. And my bass player was like, hey, are you gonna watch Rage sober after our show? And I was like, and when I'm thinking about it, he hands me a beer, I'm like, so, and that was it. The game was on, and I was an alcoholic again. And then, you know, me and my wife would just get in these crazy fights. It was just physical. She grew up like getting beat on and stuff by her family, and so when she get mad at me, she just popped me in the face. Like, she busted my nose open a couple times. She gave me knots in my head and just all kinds of stuff. I just let her do it. She'd say sorry afterwards, and I'm like, oh, I'm a man, you know, whatever. And I actually did try to leave her a couple times, but she just wrote these love letters back to me, and I don't know. It was meant to be, because we got awesome Janaea here, so I'm glad for that, thankful for that. And but you know, in a relationship like that, you know, I just started losing it, and so I fell into the trap, because something twisted in my ex-wife. Just like, it was normal for her to have physical abuse going on, so I fell into that, and I was hitting her, she was hitting me. And needless to say, a marriage like that won't last. She ended up leaving me. She found some old friends, and she ended up hooking up with one of them, and my daughter's really little. And it was a scary situation. I was on tour with Metallica, and my friend called me, and he's like, man, I see these skinhead dudes, and they're bringing stuff from your house, and they're trying to get like $200 from it. And it's like stuff I got from a record label, you know, gifts that were on my shelf, you know. And so I'm just like, oh, what am I going to do? I start freaking out, call my friend. He goes over to our house with his gun, because these skinheads, you know, never know what they're going to do. Not thinking that my daughter's there, thinking a bullet could fly, but, you know, it's more for just like if something went down, he'd pull it out, you know, make them step back. But luckily they weren't there, but my daughter was there, and she was there with this babysitter, and so I had a 3-day break on the Metallica tour, so I went and grabbed her, and I took her on tour with me, and I became a single dad right there. I took her on the Corn tour, and it was just like, I instantly had to chill. I went from like drinking, I don't know, 20 beers a day to like 6. So that was sober to me. So yeah, it really hurt my feelings though, because I was with that girl for a long time, you know, and she was the mother of my child, and for her to just go just like that, I was like, I just hated her, you know. I didn't understand it, because she gave birth to this kid. But that's what drugs will do to you, man. It would they'll take your emotions away for while you're high, and then once you come down to the earth again, like your whole world's wrecked. And she, to this day, she regrets like so much that happened in her lives. But yeah, so I was like, man, I'm gonna get sober for real now. I'm a single dad. Like, I gotta get my life in order. So I did it again. I started working out, eating right and everything, and then 9/11 happened. That dude ran the planes into the towers and all that. And my other friend came up to me and said, "Hey man, if it's World War III, you want to be sober when it all ends?" So I'm like, "Hey," passes me a beer. So I'm an alcoholic again. I can't stop. Why? It's just, I was just addicted to everything, you know? And I started, at that point, I was like, screw it, man. How many times have I tried this? So I just started taking pills. I got addicted to Xanax. I got addicted to Vicodin. Some Percocets, I was taking anything, you know, and everything. But I was a closet user, and I'd be like, I'd function. I could play the shows and all that stuff. So I did my job, but I was just miserable. I'd come home and I'd try to be like, I wear a fake face with everybody, my family, my kid, because I was sick. You know, I was sick. I would have pill hangovers or alcohol hangovers or something. But I swore I wasn't going to do methamphetamines because I saw what it did to my ex-wife. She got with those skinheads, started doing meth, and it ruined her. And her emotions just turned to crap, and she just bailed on the family. I'm like, what a scumbag, you know? What a scumbag. I'll never do that stuff. But I got hooked on crystal meth. I was like, I'm just going to do it this one time, and I got hooked. Worse than her. Be careful who you judge, right? So I was taking it every day, and I ended up having my dealers like just send me 8 balls like in the mail to places. I was in Germany, they sent me an 8-ball, or like 4 8-balls. What am I talking about? And I was risking his freedom. It was just crazy. And my parents are still together to this day, so they brought me up better than that. And to do that, even when I was high on drugs, I was like, man, this is not me. Like I could get thrown into some prison in Europe somewhere. And, you know, for drug trafficking or whatever, because I was doing so much that they would have thought I was selling it or something. But, man, I was at my wit's end. I was just the biggest loser. I had all this money, but my whole life was falling apart, you know, and I was like, all right, I just got to get sober for my daughter. And then I can make a rational decision about what I'm going to do with my life, you know, because I was getting suicidal. I was like, I just want to blow my head off and go to sleep. I'm sick of waking up every day. I'm sick of staying up on drugs. I'm sick of everything. And the only thing that was kept me alive is my daughter because, you know, she's such an angel. Here it was, this like demonic, like I was all garbage, gutter. And she was just like, hi, Dad. You know, like, how can you not smile like that? So it just helped me. It helped me just want to at least get sober before I just give up. So I started going to doctors. I was like, Doc, you know, I started confessing my drug problem because I kept it hidden except for 2 dealers that supplied me. And I was like, you got to help me get off this stuff. And they said they could help me by giving me more pills. And I was like, I already take pills. All right, give me your pills. So they wrote me these prescriptions, and I went and stopped doing speed for like a day or 2. But I had this overwhelming sensation, like fear, like I was going to have to go in a straitjacket if I didn't have a line. And so I was so hooked on that stuff, and I was just scared to death. And I just used it 4 months longer. I was using it. I'd get so high that I try to forget about it and get lost in whatever sickness I was involved in, the internet, or I'd jam out to music and start, you know, trying to write my own songs. I don't know. I was just lost. I was just trying to kill the time. And but towards the end of my hopelessness in 2004, these people I knew, I was doing real estate business with, and they came to me and they're like, "Why don't you go to church?"